Hey guys, Ryan here from the Hustle and Grind podcast. Today we have a great guest, the ultimate community connector. We have Sabina Manji, the editor, the founder of Mom Caregiver magazine. Sabina is also on the Lexus of London board for their charity golf tournament. She's got Raw, Really Authentic Women podcast. Also, RAM, Really Authentic Men podcast, as well as a number of other things that she's involved in with the community of London. Sabina has grown this amazing magazine, the Mom Caregiver magazine, with a community-first attitude. She has created this ecosystem of support, and it has just been really amazing to see, coming on 30 years now when she started the magazine. So we talk with Sabina about all kinds of things, community, connecting with people, building a team. We also get into being your true authentic self and putting your ego aside, listening to that voice inside your head, that gut, that spidey sense, and so much more. We are so excited to have Sabina on. Great episode. Let's get into it. We got Sabina Manji on the podcast. Here you are. You're here. It's taken us a while for you to get here.
But I'm here.
Because you're busy, we're busy. We finally got here, and you've been on our radar for like so long. So thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm pumped because we have some history. We've known each other for many years, right? We met each other, I don't know, it was probably like 10 or 8 years ago,
a little bit
maybe
longer than that, actually.
Yeah. So for the listeners, we worked together a bit when I was early in my entrepreneurial kind of career, starting my marketing gig and that sort of thing, kind of the one-man show deal. You took a chance on me. I did a little bit of marketing for you, which was great. It was awesome. And got to experience the Mom Caregiver live event that we did.
Yes.
I'm going back. We got to talk about this because that was freaking phenomenal. Like that was cool. It was
insane.
It was a cool experience. Yeah.
But you got fired, right?
So I got fired. Okay. Can I be, let me talk about that, because here is what I love about you and what I love about our relationship and our professional relationships, that I think, and we haven't talked about this, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think it just wasn't a fit, and we tried to make it a fit because I know we have a lot of respect for each other, and it just didn't work out, which I agree. Like, I'm a dude trying to do some marketing for the Mom Caregiver magazine, which is mostly female driven.
Right.
And
it's not the dad and caregiver.
No, it's not the dad and caregiver.
But there's a lot of dad readers, and we do have dad columns, but...
Okay, so you left too early.
Okay, well, there you go. Or I just did a shitty job. I don't know.
No,
but
you didn't do a shitty job, but you finish and then I'll tell you
what.
Well,
no, I mean,
I
think that, well, we all think. Oh, God.
The whole team.
Here we go. It's a fucking Ryan pathetic show. But no, anyways, to your credit, you have high empathy. You're a super connector. You make people feel amazing. And I felt amazing working for you. But you just wait. And but you're also this like amazing business mind who's super driven and knows what she wants, right? And you have a really great way of just making sure that the brand comes first, regardless of relationships. Relationships are important, but and I like to this day we have a great relationship, which is kind of unique when you separate ways when you're working with someone, right?
But I think that's the beauty in business, is when you can see that maybe it's not a good fit and you part like in a good way. Like, you don't get to a point where you're like, you're pissing me off, you're doing a shit job. Like, and then you leave bitter, right?
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, to talk a little bit about when you worked for us, I'm a huge type A personality, and I was in there, right? And I've learned so much that if I'm hiring someone to do something, even though at sometimes I think I had a better eye than you, and I was like, 100%. I should own my own marketing agency. Yeah. But I think it was coming at you so quick, and I think the volume, I think people don't realize how many moving pieces there are to the magazine. Yeah. Right?
Well,
because
you didn't have a team back then either, right?
No.
You're kind of a solo mission.
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
And
but what you produced was like beautiful.
It was fun. Yeah, it was great. And so for our audience, I mean, you are you're just this like super community connector, and I want to get into that. I've got my notes. Scotty loves when I bring my notes. I needed notes for you. I haven't had notes for the last few episodes, but I need them for you. Oh. But you're with, you're founder and head editor of the Mom Caregiver. You're on the Lexus of London board, right?
Is that right? Classic,
for the Golf Classic. You've got Raw, Really Authentic Women podcast. You have your own podcast.
Yep.
Right?
We've got RAM for Really Authentic Men as well.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, there
nice.
You go.
We did.
It's a reason we didn't invite you to be on there yet. Just kidding.
Fuck, here we go. Yeah, that's okay. I would probably talk too much anyways. So.
And then we got the Raw reviews that just kind of we gave birth to. And
nice.
So we go in and review companies and do like videos for them and whatnot. So that's been a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah. I didn't even know that. So
it's kind of nice to have someone else to take shots at Ryan.
Yeah, Scott's kind of really good at it.
I'm like, why are you not? Are you not following our socials? Like, should you not like kind of research your guests before they come on?
Apparently, yeah. Well, that's why I've got a page of notes, right?
I'm kidding.
But no, I mean it. We'll get into it. It's so awesome to have you on, and I'm curious. I know Scotty's probably curious about, this in this digital age. You've got this amazing product, this magazine right here that we're looking at. Like you brought some, and we were talking about this off mic. It's interesting when a lot of traditional media has died, but through the years you've survived and actually thrived. And I think a lot has to do with the product that you produce and the details that you drive through your product.
I think it's honestly what I contribute to it is we're part of the community. It's like we're a piece of your family. And I think that honestly, when we started, that's not where we were going. Like, how just your business evolves as you go. And sometimes you're like, wow, I didn't even mean for that to happen. Yeah. But it's just a staple in the home. And then when COVID hit, I was like, oh, crap, what's going to happen? Because all the locations that we distribute to are closed. Well, through the grace of God or whatever you want to believe, this thing just came in my head and I was like, what are all the kids that get fed at school doing? Like, where are their meals coming from? So we started a program called Home Not Hungry, and we ended up feeding 3,000 families in need.
Wow.
And what happened is all the restaurants in London started partnering with us. So they started giving out our magazines with their deliveries, curbside pickups. So our distribution actually grew.
Wow.
And CBC covered it. Wow. It became a full-time job. Like if you had Melissa here, she'd be like, oh my God, right? So we had volunteer drivers. Like we had to pick up the food from all the restaurants, and it got covered. And then I'm like, what saddened me, though, is that I'm giving you one meal. Like, where are the rest of your meals coming from? So then when we did this thing, when CBC covered us and the TV station covered us, they're like, well, how can people help if they want? So people started sending money to buy extra meals. But then the pandemic ended, and we were like, you know what? We can't keep this going, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So.
Holy.
I try not to hear all the outside noise because a lot of people have said, well, we're in a digital world. Well, we are digital as well. So what you see in the print version, you actually get in the digital version as well. So we try to hit parents and readers no matter how you're consuming information, whether it's through our social media, our web.
Your email, you have an email
blast, picking it up at doctors' offices and throughout the city. So, well, I feel...
Yeah. Sorry, you know what? Like, there's a digital overload.
There is.
Right? It's a issue. It's a challenge, right? We fight our kid about screen time. Oh. And he's not alone. And it's really not his fault. There's a supercomputer designed to like steal his attention.
Right.
So this analog, this like physical experiences thing, like that, I think is coming back with a bit of a surge.
Agreed.
I do too. 100%.
I've even heard of like some CEOs who they're gone to flip phones. So they've completely abandoned the smartphone because it's like, I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy gal. I got shit to do, people to see, and I'm not allowing some outside influence to steal my attention. I've got other shit to focus on.
Love that.
Even a hockey dad from one of my kids' teams doesn't even have a phone.
Really?
Imagine that, having beers at a tournament and the guy's telling us that he doesn't even have a phone.
The guy's probably the smartest guy out there, right?
Exactly.
Like, probably the healthiest.
He is very smart. But the conversation, like, and the parents just starting to go after him and asking him all the questions, right? And like, well, how do you get a hold of your buddies? Like, well, I email them. I'm on my computer.
What did we do years ago?
He's like,
right?
I'm on my computer all day.
Yeah.
I'll just email him. Well, what if something comes up and you're supposed to meet up for a beer? He's like, well, shit happens. I guess I'll show up and he doesn't show up and no big deal. And or because we know we're committed to email, like we just show up when we say we're going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting concept.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, Scotty, that you brought that up. And obviously, with attention shrinking, right? Our attention shrinking. What I think you've done, Sabina, is that you've actually you've been able to capture attention. And like, I'm curious about how you do that, because in our shrinking attention world, you've kind of slowed things down with this amazing product and these things that you're doing. Like, how are you doing that?
I think we're just staying true to our brand and being honest and listening to our readership, right? We're constantly asking our people, what are you looking for? And to your point, like, everybody's inundated with the digital world that I do believe. So when COVID did hit, all the magazines, almost every magazine in London, Southwestern Ontario, went like really put the digital arm to themselves. And we didn't. We said, we're just going to keep increasing and we're going to keep putting it out there. And then someone like Canada Life Building, who were legally approved to be the only magazine in there, they started increasing their numbers. So then I was like, okay, if people are asking us for more copies, that means the consumer is taking them and people are wanting it, right? Mm-hmm. And they're beautiful covers and they're local. And so, there's no formula that I can honestly say. I think just staying true to what we believe in and who we believe in and
staying in your lane sort of thing. I mean, I think that's a really good point. I think too many of us, myself, guilty as charged, is that like you kind of get sidetracked and there's too many things you're focusing on, whereas like just double down on what you do best at, stay in your lane.
Right.
I like saying that. And that takes a lot of discipline.
Well, I haven't always stayed. I don't stay in my lane.
Well,
I feel like as an entrepreneur,
you're
constantly being thrown things. And I think as you get a little bit more seasoned than older, I like to say, you start to learn, right? You start to go, okay, what am I really passionate about? Like, that sounds like a great opportunity out there. And normally I would run to it. But am I staying true to my values and my core? And if it doesn't align, then I'm not afraid to say no now. Whereas before I would say yes to everything.
You thought you might have been missing out and you just had to,
100%.
This is going to be the thing.
You got the FOMO going on, right? Like I gotta do it because everyone else is doing it.
I love that.
So you found a way to just ask yourself better questions.
Yeah. And I think too, without getting super personal, which Ryan, I've told you, last year, this time, like my life came to a halt. I was in the hospital, 8 months of recovery. And when you go through like a near-death experience, you really reevaluate your life and go...
It's a new lens, right?
It is a totally new lens. So I think, honestly, that just brings a whole other way of looking at life. And
can we, not to go too deep into that and the details in that, but we have kind of talked about that in terms of like, something happens and you are forced to move away from your business, obviously. Right. But we were talking about, it was kind of interesting because the Mom Caregiver, your brand continued because you had great people and a great team who you trust. We talked about this, right? Yeah.
So I think for anyone that's listening, like we get so caught up in our day-to-day and our business. And I'm telling you, listen to those soft, like little voices in your head that are telling you to kind of slow down, because if you don't do it on your own, you're going to come to a halt. But I really, a coworker, well, not a coworker, someone in my networking group used to say, like, had kept saying to me the one day, everybody is replaceable. And I thought, that's like, why are you saying that? Like, that fucking sucks, man. Yeah. Like, I'm not replaceable. Yeah. Well, he said this to me probably a month before he passed away. He was on his way down to a dental conference. And I use that line all the time now. But back to your point, if you've got a good team, your company's going to keep running. Like, they didn't need me. 8 months, I was gone. They ran it. Like, it just, I wasn't needed. Like, I'm needed, but not in the same way. It's our egos.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's replaceable.
Yeah. So question, and I agree. Mm-hmm. You're ignorant to think any different, really. You're just too naive and oblivious to really think about that. But how, when that colleague of yours or friend of yours kind of gave you that kind of a moment, how long before you fell ill that, like, did you start to prepare your business, or was it just a natural
just happened
sort of thing where the team was just ready to pick it up? You weren't necessarily consciously trying to make sure that, things were going to be.
No, if anything, I now look at things and go, I need to put some checks and balances in place. God forbid something happens to one of my teammates, because they do it all. Like, honestly, like, I might be the face of it, but they really run the show. And I am so blessed. Like, Melissa, my copy editor, has been with me for over 15 years.
Wow.
My designer over 10, our photographer over 10, like, that's what I think sets us apart, is like everyone that comes on, minus Ryan, is really becomes a part of the family and stays the distance, because I feel like everyone has bought into it and they've got a vested interest. So, and as we were talking before we started, is that as a business owner, you need to let go and get your ego out of the way and let them do their thing. Because sometimes, going back to Ryan, like, he would do stuff and I'd be like, oh, I could do this way better. Why am I paying him? Right? And sometimes I was right. But
you were often right. Yeah.
But with my team, I might not like the color that they choose or the aesthetic fonts that they use, but I've got to let go.
It took a minute. It took some experience, right? Before you can, like, because early on. So, like, had you worked with Ryan later in your careers,
exactly,
you might have cut him a little slack, maybe.
No, I totally. Ryan beats to his own drum, and I had deadlines.
I don't expect any slack at all, for the record. So, but no, I mean, definitely. You've always been a people first person, and it's no surprise that you have this loyalty to you, because you're so loyal to others. You're loyal to the brand. And this is a paradox that I think a lot of us face, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of listeners face, is that, like, how do I be, so committed to the brand and then also so loyal to a team that I may not, agree with what they're doing? Or, is it the brand, or is it the team? Is it my, like, people that are advertising? Is it my readers? Like, you have so many people you need to please.
That's the thing, right, Ryan? Like, even when you came on board, like, it's not, if you did a shit job for me, and you didn't, like, let's be very clear. Like, you did a great job, right? And we had an awesome working relationship. It was awesome. So I don't want anyone to think that you're great. Yeah. But if we mess something up, say a social post, well, it's not just, I have to answer to my advertiser, right?
Exactly.
I have so many other people. Like, it's not just one of those things where you can just put up a social media post and not worry. Like, it's our readers, it's our advertisers, it's all the people that are involved that are affected by it. So that there's a trickle down effect. That
100%. Yeah, you make one wrong, slight little change or pivot or whatever, you're gonna get all kinds of people come down on you. So,
but in the same boat, it's sometimes you got to let go, right? And that's what I've really learned over the last little while, is that the things that I see, and we were speaking about this, nobody's going to care if, like, the color is like a shade off, right? And you got to...
No one's noticing.
No, you got to choose, right? How much time are you going to spend? And then I think it's key, what I've learned is that you got to let go and you got to empower your people, right? Because if they feel like, well, Sabina, you're just going to change it anyways, then why am I even doing it, right?
Yeah, so that creates a whole nother ripple effect, right?
Yep.
You get people tuning out. They're not fully bought in. They're half-assed in their effort. They're just punching the clock. And, you don't have the same copy editor for 15 years, right? It just doesn't happen at that point. So,
Can we go back in time a little bit on, for our listeners and even for myself? I don't think I even know this story, but like how you got started, why you got started, why the Mom and Caregiver? Was it strategic in terms of like you thought there was a need for this, or was it personal that you're just like?
There's a whole story here.
Well, hey, we got some time. So
okay, so I actually went to school for nursing. And I had a patient pass away, and I was like, I'm too much of an empath. I can't do this. And they teach you to be in and out. And I'm like, I'm not your girl, right? So then I went into banking. I've done like retail and whatnot. And then I used to have another company called London Caregivers Referral Network. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I think I remember. Okay, yeah. Can you explain?
Yeah, so we helped parents find nannies in childcare. And so it started as that, and Mom and Caregiver already existed. So Sharon Oswald was a freelance writer, and she had a one-page kind of newsletter that she would put out to friends and family. And I was her very first advertiser and writer through London Caregivers. Oh. So then back in the day, her husband got deployed, and she's like, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to turn this into a magazine. And I remember the support was not there for me. Like, I didn't have a very supportive family, and everybody's like, what the hell do you know about marketing? And I'm like, I don't know, but I can see it. Like, I saw the vision. So the very first issue we did, we brought it up to 2 colors, and there were 6 pages. And now we're 24 pages, full color. And it's just, again, believing in it, trusting, being true to what you say you're going to do. You do, and then you build relationships, and that's
so. It was a newsletter, and you just built it into this amazing brand and magazine and product. Like, so. But we talk about, you mentioned vision, right? And it's hard to believe that you're just like, I'll give it a shot. Like, I feel, and knowing you were like 5 steps ahead or years ahead.
Well, maybe like back then, but you know me, I'm a go-getter. Like, and we could just bring it to, we did a Mom and Caregiver live show together. And I remember sitting with my whole team, and I'm like, okay, when we hit 10,000 followers on Facebook, I want to like do something big. And they're all like, yeah, we can do a Facebook live on our phones. And I'm like, fuck that, man. I want like the Oprah show.
So can I share that? Because I was involved in this.
Oh,
and by God, it was like, you're like, I want to do a live event. We're like, what?
Because you were like, let's do a telethon. And I'm like, okay.
I think
and we had 2 weeks to put it together.
That's the other thing is that, like, I've never been, like, the force of you and the drive of you, I have never experienced, like it's like you were this, like, just, like, rocket ship, and we were just all hanging on by a thread. We're like,
so are you sure you didn't quit?
No, that was actually
that
was actually one of, like, even to this day, all of the things I've done, that was just. And I remember being there, this event. So you had a panel. Actually, Brett Lucier, one of our guests, was on the panel. Yeah. You had this panel. You had a live audience.
Yep. So we had 350 people in the live studio audience.
So you decided you wanted to do this. 2 weeks later was the date. Where did you get 350 people?
Oh, they just all followed, man.
Sabina Manji, man.
They just came. I got $80,000 single-handedly in sponsorship and giveaways and whatnot. And I was in a car accident right before.
Right.
So we had 350 people in live studios, and Ryan and his team were not ready. And we were, honestly, none of us were ready. I think we had 10,000 people tune in from home. Yeah. And Ryan was like over on the sidelines, like trying to keep up with all the messages all the coming in.
That was my job. Yeah.
So
you didn't have a way to throttle them, or you're just like,
I don't know what the fuck was going on.
And you had your like ugly Santa sweater, like it was a Santa thing too.
That's right. Yeah.
But the thing was, even when I started, I looked at the camera and I'm like, I want you to feel like you're right here in the living room with me. So I want you to go get your popcorn, because we had popcorn there. Remember that popcorn at the end?
Yes.
You and I shared that.
Yeah.
And a glass of wine, and everyone just felt like, and I was just looking over, and I would ask a random question. We had a same-sex gentleman, Frank, who wrote for us, and I looked at him and I'm like, how do you keep your life spicy? Like, we all want to know. And his husband messaged in and it just became very raw, right? We no question or anything was off the table, and it just exploded.
Cool. It was great, and I mean,
and the PA shop did a great job.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ryan, the PA shop, who we got all of our stuff from. He's been great. We're gonna have him on as a guest, but like, look, like you take this magazine and this live event and that's when I realized like this is a brand. Like Sabina is actually creating this ecosystem, this community. Like the fact that all these people showed up, I'm like, people are paying attention to what you're doing and they want to be part of it, right? And I think maybe I think with you're such a go-getter that you don't see a lot of the other things that are going on and the people saying great job and whatever. You just don't give a shit. You're going to do what you want to do, whether people like it or not. And that's powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that's one thing I really admire about you. But that was really the aha moment for me working with you, being like, this is like a brand. And that was one of the questions I had, is that like, how do you do that? Like, how are you creating this? Like, yeah, it's not small, but it's a community magazine, but it's got this big city feel. Like, is that intentional?
No.
Honestly,
I'd love to say, like we've been working in the background. No, like I think that it's just a vested interest, right? So we used to do a calendar for Children's Hospital. So the way that the whole covers came about is before I had my kids, I did a calendar for Children's Hospital and we had parents send in non-professional photos of their kids. And again, a brainchild thing that I did is we had thousands of entries, and it was back in the day where it was actually photographs. So Hallmark was one of our sponsors, and it was $5 to enter and photographs. So the night before the contest ended, there would be hundreds and hundreds of photos shoved under their table. We used to scan all the photos. We had a room like this where we brought in judges. We would pick all the kids. But what we did is we put every single child that entered in the back of the calendar, like little thumbnails. So people would walk into Hallmark, they'd open the calendar, they'd look for their kid, and sometimes they'd buy it. Sometimes they'd be like, okay, whatever, right? Yeah. But that just kind of created, and then I had a kid and I couldn't volunteer that many hours. But every parent still wanted to send in photos because we all know as parents, we think our kid is the sweetest. And it's not about their looks. It's just we have a diverse families that read our magazine and we want to represent that. It doesn't matter race, color, or any of that. Like disabilities, we've featured so many different children on our covers. And I think that we also did, I think you were still on board, where are they now? So we've got kids that are 19 and they're holding their covers and they're telling us about what they're doing. Like they're still proud to be on. So I think in that sense, we've kind of created this real feel like they're still following us, even though their kids are like older than the demographic of what we put in the magazine.
Yeah.
So
if they're 19, 20, like they're not far from having their own kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
they're
right.
going to like cross generations.
Yeah.
That's
which
incredible.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
right?
a good point.
That's
a really good point.
Yeah, because we're coming up to 28 years. We're in our 28th year, so we're coming up to 30 years in like the next year or so.
Really?
Yeah.
So then you can get, they do those like photos inside the photos inside the photos. Kind of like holding the original cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, did that answer your question? I kind of went.
I forgot what my question was.
Yeah, I did too, actually. The big city feel.
Yeah. How do you create a small community brand that's got a big city feel? I maybe there's just no real answer for that. Yeah. And again, it could just be your intuition, your vision that, again, it's hard to explain. Right. But I do think, we're looking at your magazines right now, but the quality, you've remained steadfast with the quality. And these photo shoots, I had the opportunity to be on them. It was amazing. People bringing in their kids and just like
outfits. We've got props, we've got chefs, we've got like that chef from Culinary Catering is featured on that cover.
That's
and
cool.
He made the cookies. He got the apron. Like everybody is excited, and I think I think if you're going to ask me what I feel I bring to the table, I think I bring my energy. Yeah, and I think that's what people buy into, right? Because it's not fake. It's real. Like you can't fake it, right? Like I'm really excited after 28 years for the covers still. So I think others get excited too.
I agree.
So,
it's contagious for sure.
How many heated debates have you like as far as covers and like do you still? I know you say you're trying to you learn to let go, but are there certain like shots that you still like? No, that's the shot. We need that one.
Yeah, we actually had that in this last. I think this one. January issue, which is adorable. But so Cynthia, our photographer, and Melissa, our copy editor, so we all sit down after the shoots and we pick the photos right then and there. Mm-hmm. I wanted the outtake because I thought it was just adorable how she was interacting. But they're like, how could you pick that? Like, we want her. So I let go, and I'm like, okay, they're right. And I love what they picked. So. No, it's seamless now.
But you still got it in there.
Yeah. I still got it in there. Of course it did.
That's awesome.
Which is also so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of moving parts though, right? And
you know that. I mean, so many moving parts.
Yeah, and you do a great job looking like you're holding it all together and that sort of thing. and is
that a compliment?
Yeah, no, it is, because I know all the moving parts and I know how hard it is, right, to keep it to keep everything moving. But my point to that is that as a leader, people look to you for that direction, that calmness. And I know myself as a leader, having people working for me, people look to me, and half the time I'm freaking scatterbrained, don't know, I'm barely holding on myself.
There with you.
But you have to kind of not fake it, but you just have to really bear down and focus and be like, I'm going to make these decisions, whether it's the right decision or not. I have to make a decision because my team's waiting for me to make a decision. So is that challenging for you sometimes to be like, I'm going to say this, make this decision. I don't know if it's the right one, but I got to make a decision here.
I think back in the day, it was a lot harder because I was like, oh my God, I got to make this decision and I don't know. Or again, ego gets in the way. Yeah. But now it's just the trust. I trust all of us, right? And if we screw up, what's the worst that's going to happen? Yeah. Like, honestly, what is the worst thing? Like, honestly, in our February issue, all of us did the proofing and there's 2 ads that didn't make it in. So my first initial was like, Melissa, like, what the fuck? Like, how did you miss this? And Belado, how did you miss this? And then I'm like, hey, you missed it. Right. Like, you missed it too. We missed it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So what do? You get on the phone right away. You let your clients know, but there's the relationship. They're like, whatever, just put in an extra ad next, like, they didn't care. Yeah. And I'm like, but I care, right? Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, that's an important month for them. And they're like, big deal, Sabina. Like, whatever, like, don't sweat it.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's I think the hidden piece of that is that you immediately owned up to your shit, right? You're not going to be like, oh shit, I hope they don't know this.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, back in the day, I was guided to do that by someone that is in a business. They're like, don't even let them know. Like, just like ignore it. They're not even going to notice it. And I'm like, I notice it, and I'm not going to be able to sleep it. So people respect you when you own up to your shit.
I read something
and shit catches up to you.
It does. You're right, Scott.
So you may as well take care of it now.
Yep.
Because you're gonna and if the later and the longer you wait to take care of it, the worse it's gonna be. Like 100%. Just rip the bloody Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, but I think it is a good lesson to be learned with anyone listening, any entrepreneur, any small business owners, that, people, like, we're human, we're people. Your clients have made mistakes. They're going to understand, assuming you do right by them or you 100%. Give them an extra ad. I don't know what it is, but I mean, people are going to make mistakes. And I think that, to our point, like, if you try and sweep it under the rug, and they're sitting there going, oh, like, they made a mistake, and it just festers and bubbles underneath. Eventually, that's going to become a bigger thing down the road, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, you just got to own it, like you said, right?
Well, and often what you imagine the outcome is going to be in your head is a story that's not real. It's like fake news, right? Yeah. It's blown way out of proportion. It's like super 100%. Exaggerated. And then... it still doesn't mean it wasn't uncomfortable and awkward that you had to have a chat.
False evidence appearing real. Fear. There you go.
Right?
I suffer from that all the time. Good.
I've been waiting 33 episodes. Jay Gray, our last guest, said that. He taught me that, so that was cool. I want to get into like some entrepreneurship stuff and business stuff. Knowing what you know now about entrepreneurship, running a business, that sort of thing, what are the things you didn't really expect that you have kind of like rolled into or that you've learned along the way that people didn't really warn you about, that sort of thing? I mean, you said you had this vision to take a newsletter into a magazine, but unknowingly that you're going to actually build this huge brand in this business. What is it with new people listening about entrepreneurship and small business? What advice would you give?
Just take a chance on yourself. Like, just honestly get out there. Like, if you have, I would rather put out a dream that I have than die with the dream inside of me. So many people are so afraid to start. And I think, again, now I would be like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And I hated it when this was said to me back in the day, you got to spend money to make money. Well, you kind of do, right? So if you actually believe in your brand and you believe in this podcast, well, you got to put it out there, right? You got to do the work to get there. And if you're not willing to do it, then why bother, right? Yeah. So like, take a chance on yourself. And lessons that I've learned, like, I have no regrets. Like, everything that I've learned, yeah, there's some shit stuff that happened along the way. And because I am so trusting, sometimes I got screwed over a few times because I believe in the handshake, but now we've got contracts in place and everything. But I think just go with your gut. Like, honestly, like, if you feel like something's off, then it probably really is. Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, too often I don't think we pay attention to that.
No.
I call it spidey senses or whatever, right? Or
and
it's
like,
he knew better. Yeah, we do. We definitely do. But until you really learn to listen to those things, I think that's hard to do.
Right.
Well, it's hard to do if you're chasing an outcome.
Right.
And you can see it, you can almost taste it, and it's like right there, you can almost grab it. And you're almost blinded, like you got no, like your blind spots start to like grow,
right?
Because you're maybe just so focused that But on the other side of that, you talked about like how you ignore the noise, right? Well, let's define noise. Like, is it your own voice inside of your head that's like telling you the spidey sensors are tingling, and you just kind of ignore it because you truck through it? And maybe there's been times where you've done that, right? Maybe the handshake. Maybe you didn't feel right about it. You did it anyway. And you're like, I should have known.
Yeah.
There was something there. Like, that didn't feel right.
But sometimes you don't know. And I think those are learning opportunities, right? So, like, really try to take everything that comes your way and go, okay, what can I learn from this? And I always love telling new entrepreneurs that are like brand new, because I love connecting them with people because that's just my gig. But then I'm like, let go, Sabina. Like, it's not your business, but you kind of get invested. Is when you're going to networking and you're doing networking, remember back in the day where everyone's just passing out their business cards, and the more business cards you get or you hand out, you think like you're successful. But I really like to approach when I go into groups like that, what can I do for you? Because I think if I can really learn you and get to know you in a genuinely authentic way, then business is just going to come. Like,
service mindset.
100%.
Yeah. Big time. It is authentic with you. I've seen you in group settings, and I think one of your superpowers is that you do actually, the person you're speaking to, you make them feel like they're the most important person in the room. Because, and like, I'm not trying to pump your tires. I'm just like,
Keep going.
Okay. But I think it's a skill. It can be intentional, but it can also be, very innately just kind of like you're very curious. And we talk about that
all the time.
That curiosity can be a superpower, right? Where, if you're not going to be curious and ask those questions, you may not get that information that you need to make those decisions as a business partner or business owner, and if you want to partner with this person.
So when I started my podcast, I got the best advice actually from my son, who's almost 20. He said to me, like, when you're interviewing people, he goes, don't make it about you. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, do I actually make it about me? And he goes, well, for example, if someone says, oh, yeah, I struggled in my business, don't say, yeah, me too, because it's really not about you. Like, you're there interviewing your guests. So, but I'm like, no, I want to make it interactive. But anyways, after him giving that advice, I really took it to heart, and I found I became a better interviewer. So I think you need to listen to people, and sometimes your ego gets in the way, and I'd be like, well, what does he know about business, right?
What does my kid know about life
exactly,
advice?
right? But we can learn so much from them, right?
Yeah. Well, and whether you're on a podcast interviewing someone or just in a conversation, I think that's great advice. You
100%.
know, just in everyday conversation, like, you know, have that empathy first, and that kind of intentionality about understanding really what their experience is.
Right.
And then I don't know. I mean, I think wow, what a great, and he's 20.
He's going to be 20 in May.
That kid is going places.
I think there's something else there on the networking side too, because I can remember going to the same events and doing the same thing, and you're desperate to pitch and sell and close deals, right? And like bring on new business. So you're again young and dumb, and you think that that's the way to do it, but the service first mindset kind of is accompanied with like an abundance mindset at the same time. It's like, I'm not desperate for a deal right now. Like, I don't need you to buy something right now. So it's like, well, how can I help you? Who can I connect you with? And then there's this beautiful thing called the law of reciprocation.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just happens, right? And it's just, and you, honestly, I think as you get more and more into your business, you're still hungry to get the business, but you want authentic businesses that actually align with you and your values, right? Like, because so say you were going to advertise with me, but I knew right from the get-go you weren't a good fit. Well, I now know I'm not going to pitch you hard because I'm not just going to take your money, right? And that comes with experience, right? Like, it honestly does. And with the magazine, like, we don't do one-offs. Like, if you're looking to do one ad, unless you're an actual event-based company that's promoting an event, if you're putting one ad in, I'm going to turn you away. And I remember my team saying to me, like, you're turning away money. And I'm like, no, I'm actually turning away someone that is going to be in the long run not happy, right? Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not good for us. It's not good for them.
Exactly.
We'll just save everybody the time and pain to figure it out later, right?
Yeah.
So I think my biggest, I know you didn't ask me this, but I'm going to add it in, is what I struggle with the most is, say you signed up for a year of advertising and you've signed the contract, you're advertising, we're checking in like during the year, and then the year ends and you don't renew. I take that so personally. And especially if you say to me, oh, well, I never got anything off it. Well, now, before I would cry. Like, back in the day, I'd cry. I'm like, what does he mean he didn't get any business? But now I know the questions to ask, and I also know how to educate our advertisers to say, print advertising is very different. If you think you're going to put an ad in there and your phone's going to ring off the hook, I'd be lying to say that's going to happen. But if you're looking to raise awareness and the name recognition, our magazine is everywhere, and I guarantee people are going to see you, and the goal is to stay top of mind. So when they want to make that purchase, they're right.
Yeah. Well, you just came from a Lexus board, like the golf meeting.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the car biz for years. Our listeners are probably getting tired of me talking about it.
No, it's good.
And we might have even talked about this a little bit on another episode, but it's the same for anyone in sales or any entrepreneur or business owner. Is you mentioned top of mind, right? And that's the beauty about the print ads and the long-term contracts that you sign. Because if you sell a car, great relationship with the customer, they love you, they had the best experience ever, they're like, oh, I'm going to send all my friends and family your way. And they're telling the truth. But 6 months later, when they're having a beer in their driveway and their neighbor walks by and he's talking about buying a car, if you're not top of mind immediately in that moment, they didn't lie to you. You weren't top of mind. So, it was something I've reminded our, car salespeople is like, what are you doing to make sure you're top of mind? And it's no different for a business owner. Like, right? Like, what are you doing to stay top of mind? Because people have the best of intentions and we're all busy. We got shit happening and getting pulled in a million different directions that, our brain compartmentalizes things in certain ways. And you have to find a way to be top of mind. Otherwise, there's opportunities that may have been there that you'll never know you missed.
Yeah.
And I think not taking it so personally, right? Like, I think you and I are quite the same, Ryan.
I know you're saying that, and I'm like, Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm agreeing with you. At the same time, I lost a client last week and my wife's like, just move on. I'm like, I can't move on.
Right.
Put my blood, sweat, and tears and goddamn client. They left me and blah, blah, blah. Like I don't know what's going on with that client. Maybe they don't have enough money. Maybe they're going to go to business next week. I don't know. Yes. But it might not be.
Nobody likes to be broken up with,
No.
But it's the stories I think we attach to it. So if they do decide to leave you, like immediately it's like, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. But like you said, maybe they didn't have money. Like maybe they're just changing gears and you got to respect that. So,
or maybe it just to your point. And I think that maybe in this particular case, it wasn't a good fit.
Right.
Like, I think we both really tried, and it just wasn't a good fit. But if I asked those questions early on, to your point, and was true to like the conversation being and asked a little bit further, deeper questions, we probably would have discovered together this probably isn't going to work long term,
Right.
But I didn't listen to those spidey senses, to those internal voices that you were talking about.
But now you can take it back, and I'd be like, okay, what's the lesson in this? Like, can I learn anything from it? So I think for me, that's the one piece that I'm trying to do a lot more is like, okay, well, they left. Mm-hmm. Was it really not a good fit, or did their year run out and they're just moving on to something else? Like, because they were expecting it's managing those expectations too, I think.
Yeah.
So
something else you said there too is it's said something like, it's the story you tell yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think that's a solution for some people who are stuck and they're living in the past. They're replaying the story in their mind and they've got this association which ties to a feeling, which keeps them in this mood and it kind of holds them back. Right. But we have the power to change the story.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to go, okay, well, is there a lesson there? Was it something I did, or was it like, just to even ask those questions, it opens a door for you to change that story and that association. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden now you can let go, you can move forward.
These like false biases that we have from back in whenever you did whatever.
Your wife tells you just let go, move on, and you're like,
I'm like,
fuck that, right? Because you're still holding on to a narrative, to a story, right? So you can't. Yeah. You can't move on, right? Yeah. So you have to change the story. That's the only way.
Yeah. Well, that's where your personal work comes in, right? And I've like, all of us have a story, all of us have a past, but my go-to, and I know you did this because I think you actually designed this, my quote is, don't let the past define you. Like, actually use it as your fuel. Because I could sit in victim role. Like, if you knew my story, you'd be like, holy shit, how does she do this? But you could stay in victim role forever.
And you're not going to move anywhere.
No, you're not going anywhere, right?
Take some discipline, some self-reflection. There's a lot of I mean, I've got friends that are highly successful. Like my core group of friends, I've got lawyers,
way more successful,
way more. I'm getting there, and
but I'd love to know.
Okay, but this is my point. My buddy, we were sitting by the campfire, whatever, and he's like, "Fuck, man, like." You need to slow down. I'm like, I don't know how to. He's like, you know why? Because you're always trying to prove something. Because you're the only entrepreneur in our group. We're whatever. One guy works for the government. One guy's a lawyer. Whatever. He's like, stop trying to prove shit. Like we love you the way you are.
We've been boys. We'll still be boys. Yeah,
man. And I'm like, shit. Like he's right, but I don't know how to not do that.
How do you define success?
Good question. It is a good question because I think that, and four of us here will probably agree that changes over time, right?
100%.
And success to me earlier on in my career, as I talk about, big corporate guy, suit and tie, whatever, money,
image,
like, all that, like before kids and whatever. And I know it sounds cliche, it does, and people talk about this, but you do get there and then it's like, like either now what? Or like this, like, what has this given me? Like, do people love me more? Like, am I a better person because I have a better car, because I have more money. Yeah. And I do, and I'm not going to pretend I don't struggle with that because I do. I just talked about all my successful buddies.
Busting your balls saying your buddies are way more successful.
But they are.
Well, if you're looking at maybe their bankroll or their portfolio or whatever, but there's people with big bankrolls who are miserable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that's for me, it's like, because I battle and struggle with the same
what
thing
do you
too. Like, well, if you asked me when I was 20, if I could fast forward to 45 and where I'm at and would I be satisfied with that level of success? I would have been, hell yeah. But I'm not satisfied in that sense where there's more. There's still more. And it's the ability for me to like come down and shoot this pod today.
Yeah.
Right? For me to, get my kid off the bus and hustle to the rink for practice tonight.
Yeah.
Right? Like to me, those are pieces where it takes some reflection to look back and go like, that maybe isn't success wrapped up in one tidy bow, but those are pieces of the success, right? Because there's families whose kids are playing sports and they're at work and they're missing the action.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're chasing the dollar, they're chasing the climbing the ladder, the status, whatever the case may be, at the expense of some of those other things. So success is different to everybody, I think. Right. But I think it's easy and natural for us to like tie it to our financial success or what the income statement looks like at the end of the year.
I think that, and thank you, Sabina, for asking that. I'll just interject like really quickly because I want to know what your idea of success is. But I find now kind of later on in life or with this kind of experience and that sort of thing, it's not necessarily financially successful. It's like, how can I give back? Like, how can I use money as a tool to actually make this world better or make our community better? And a lot of that in my world is like, how can I help younger entrepreneurs to like not fast track? They still need to learn these hard lessons, but like maybe just make it a little bit easier for them, and just give back into the community of entrepreneurship. Like that's kind of where I'm at. But what about you?
I think, honestly, if you asked me when I first started, I think success evolves. Like the answer evolves as you as a person evolve, because what mattered to me back then and what I defined when I didn't even know what the heck I was doing to be successful was always attached to money. And now, like fast forward to 28 years later, it's happiness and how can I help and being grateful for I feel a responsibility, right? Like I feel a responsibility because I am an advocate for moms and children and parents, and I take that really seriously. Like we've got a platform where we want to better this world, right? And I think for me, if I can do that, that's success to me. Or when someone, I shared a story with you back, and this might make me cry,
but you're gonna cry.
No, the goal is not to make me cry. That's my goal, to make people cry on my podcast. Is we were downtown filming and for some video stuff, and all of a sudden I saw a homeless woman, and she had a shopping cart, and it was full of our magazines. And I'm like, guys, I don't want to film this. Like I'm not like exposing her, but I need to go talk to this woman. So I walked up to her and she's like, oh my God, it's you. Cause I've got an editor's note photo in the magazine. And I'm like, I'm just wondering, like, why do you have all these magazines? And she said to me, she goes, one day I'm going to get off the streets and I'm going to make all those recipes that you have in there. And one day I'm going to get dressed up like you. And yeah, like that to me defines success. As weird as that sounds,
it doesn't sound weird. I think
you
it's
have made
goosebumps.
a difference in someone else's life that you don't even know, right? Like we just put this out monthly, and I was saying to one of my team members, we actually don't stop to talk about like the Mom and Caregiver live show and some of the things that we've done or the charities we've done. And it's not like to feed our egos, but it's like, you know what? How do we play off that and do more of that, right?
Take notice and give yourself a reminder of why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Right?
you're building community, right? And you've built this incredible community of so many, like you're so important to so many people that you don't know about until you actually have these interactions, right? And I mean that must be interesting for you, as someone in our London community who is recognizable. I imagine, and I'll ask you, I mean, what is that like when you get I imagine, well, I've been with you and it's happened. People recognize you,
Well,
you know, like, does that make you feel like, how does that make you
I'm grateful
feel?
because they talk to me like they know me. And I think what is hard for me is when they walk up to me and they talk to me like I should know who they are. And I'm like, oh shit, like who are you? I don't know. And they're like, oh, we read you and I'm like, oh God, like the silent voice in my head's like, okay, am I losing it? Like, because I don't remember them. But no, you just try your best. And I have another story to go back to. She's now my best friend, but Stephanie Preston, who's married to Joe Preston, the mayor of St. Thomas, who's just given his resignation. So,
I've met Joe. He's a great guy.
She had approached a ton of different places, and she wanted her story covered, and no one would cover it. She showed up on my doorstep. And I'm like, what's your fucking story? I'll cover it. And we are now the best of friends. And at their wedding, cool. She writes bipolar on the brain. She has bipolar and mental illness. And she's a huge advocate. But she's always wanted to write a book. And she's now written 14 articles. And she's going to take those entries and create a book. It's things like that you don't know how you're going to impact. So don't just immediately say no to people because they have a mental illness or they don't look like we think they should look, right? Give people a chance.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm gonna give you one of my, I don't know who taught me this, but I use it and it might be helpful for you. Yeah. Because you're recognized and people are coming up to you and you have that awkward feeling like, oh shit, do I know this? Should I know this person? I always say, nice to see you.
Oh, love it.
That's a good one, Scotty.
Nice to see you. Yeah. Because
not just a pretty
nice
face.
To meet you. No, because if you say nice to meet you and you've already met, it's awkward. That's why you feel awkward because you don't want to say nice to meet you.
Right.
Because they're approaching you as if you know them and you're like, shit, do I know them?
Yeah.
And
that's a good one, man.
So it's a nice to see you. It works every time.
And then the other thing, someone reached out to me on Instagram and she's like, would you want to meet for a coffee? And I'm like, okay, I don't know you, but sure. So I met her and she's like, I'm so glad. She goes, I didn't think you would. She goes, but I've been watching you for years and I just wanted to like talk to you. And I'm like, yeah. So again, giving people time, but I don't really I only get recognized when I'm doing swearing at my kid or something in the grocery store. Like, oh my God, I love your magazine.
Sabina yelling at her kid.
She's not the perfect parent.
Well, there's that too.
You should interview my son.
Yeah.
Right? He'd be like, awesome. Let me tell you.
So I can see on the cover here, you can follow you on all the platforms. We can find you guys everywhere. What else is happening? Where else can people find you? And if they don't know you, how can they get to know you?
Well, they can follow us on our social channels. We're all over socials for sure. On our website that your partner has done for us. And
awesome.
Yeah, or find us at anywhere you're going to find busy professional families, you're going to find the magazine. So
it's amazing. And then you've got the Raw podcast, which
the Raw podcast.
I mean, definitely tune into that. Grab your box of Kleenex. Ram, which I didn't know, but I definitely need Kleenex for those ones. A lot of tears in those ones, which they're authentic, right? And that's what you get with authenticity in these authentic conversations. And then you're part of the Lexus of London golf tournament.
For prostate cancer.
So that's a great event in London.
That is a great event. If anybody's interested in golfing out at the Oaks on June 15th.
Okay.
The Monday.
Pay attention to that.
Pay attention to that.
Shout out force them in.
Those guys.
Sponsorship. There must be sponsorship
available as well. And then my sister's place, the Black and White event, I'm going to be emceeing it with Nick Paparella.
Oh, really?
For the second year. So that's going to be out at the Lamplighter. So you guys will have to check that out.
Yes.
Get a table and come out.
100%. Yeah, that'd be great.
And the other thing we're doing is raw reviews. So we go into companies and do reviews on them. So
good.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this was awesome. We're so glad to have you. Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you. This was
great.
Really
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's and then personally after knowing you all these years, I mean, and we continue to just run into each other or intentionally have coffee. or whatever. I mean, I just
3-4 hours.
Yeah, I know that's
so
the thing. I love meeting with you because I just I can pick your brain. I can absorb this energy that you have that is it's so contagious. But I mean, continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're doing great things for our community. Almost 30 years. Yeah.
Congrats.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Huge. That is huge. Yeah. Amazing.
And we're not going anywhere.
No.
So if anyone thinks print's like going by the wayside, I'm telling you, it's coming back.
Pick up. These magazines are gorgeous. Pick them up, you know, and I mean, Sabina, can't say enough. Thank you. We finally did it. We finally got you here. Yeah, good. All right. Well, that's a wrap. And yeah.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon for sure. Okay. Thanks. Awesome. Good stuff. Another great episode. Thanks for joining us. Please support our podcast. By supporting us, you can go to YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, go to our website, hustleandgrindpod.com. That way you can go and you can apply to be a guest. Listen to us anywhere that you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all the channels. But we really appreciate your support. Keep listening. We have a lot of great episodes and a lot of great guests ready to go. We're going to keep coming hard at you here and digging into the hustle and grind of what it takes to be an entrepreneur and a business owner.